All right. If you didn't see yesterday's video, I would encourage you go back and to watch it. The link is in the description below. This is part 2 of our 5-part series this week. And today I'm talking about my confidence was shattered after this, but I picked myself up. I'm Tiffany, and this is the Balanced Life Redefined. And on this channel, we are looking at taking opportunities out of tragedies. So whether that's helping other people through food bank programs or charities, whether it is changing our families, whether it's changing our finances, beginning investing, whatever it is, we are not going to be dictated to by the circumstances. We control our destinies. And yesterday I told you that you can make your life more proactive and less a reaction to circumstances. But I want you to understand whether you are starting out great or really struggling, you can right now be at your lowest point. So if things are going awesome, things can get better. If things are kind of rough, things can improve. I'm going to tell you about the low point that gave birth to this channel. It was in January of 2007 when I was standing in a room on a waiting list at a food bank. I was thinking about 9 years before that, in 1998, when I was finishing up my college degree at the very top of my class, summa cum laude from the Honors College. So that's 3.9 and higher. And I was turning down offers, multiple offers for grad assistantships, for jobs. I was invited to a national conference for undergraduate research on the East Coast. Things just seemed to be exactly the way I wanted them to be. But in 2007, I was standing there thinking about that, feeling ashamed and wondering what had happened to me. We had always been on a fairly tight budget, my husband and I, but also we always felt like we were on the edge of a breakthrough. But it was kind of like one of those mirages that just as you got close, it moved a little further away. Some of you might be able to relate when you live paycheck to paycheck and you're like, okay, when I get the next check, then I'll be able to pay for these things and get ahead and everything will be okay. And then, you get a flat tire or you have to fix something or a kid gets sick or you have to miss work. So you understand what I'm talking about. Then we bought our first house in 2001, which was a gigantic stretch, a little bit more than we realized it was going to be. But as long as everything went perfectly, it would be okay. But it didn't. A series of small issues, little repairs that we had to do, things costing a little bit more than we expected, some job issues, getting pregnant again, which was a blessing, but it was an expense. And then deciding to adopt a special needs child. And then after that, what I talked about yesterday with my husband being diagnosed with cancer right before the US economy crashed. And I felt like a complete failure. And you might be in that position now, or you might be headed in that direction. And that's why you're watching these videos. For me, I had gone from being recruited by people in Washington, D.C., calling my house trying to find me, to McDonald refusing to even let me interview. I had always felt so prideful about my ability to budget our income, but my husband's paramedic job didn't have paid time off, let alone sick time like disability. And we suddenly went for 4 months, 4 months with literally $0 coming in, no income, nothing. We were living on savings and credit cards. But see, that wasn't even the low point. That was leading up to the low point. So some of you might be seeing that now. It's like, okay, this can't get much worse. I can't keep going on like this. It was 2 years after that, when my husband was sick, 2 years after my husband's illness and all those things, when the full brunt of the recession hit and the cancer bills were piling in and we still weren't able to get work. My husband had beat cancer and gone back to work for a few months and then was injured on the job. And there was some argument over whether it was a work injury or a cancer injury. And so for a few months, we were again without pay. So we had just done it December through April or May from 2005 to 6. And now here we are in January of 2007. Actually, it was just before Christmas when he hurt his knee of 2006 going into 7. So in January of 2007, I'm standing there in that food bank. Many of you have experienced those kinds of punch after punch after punch in these last 2 years, right? That's when I asked myself if life would ever go back to what it had been, let alone the dream of being an investor and doing mission work and blessing our kids with a good life. I was standing in that food bank so incredibly hungry and broken, and I received no useful food. I mean, I got like 4 or 5 cans of random veggies and oatmeal and a gigantic ham, which I couldn't cook in the oven because I didn't have a working oven. It had just broke a few months before. Such an experience would break a lot of people, and for a time it actually broke me. But I'm grateful for this trial by fire lesson, because this time of my life taught me that I didn't know everything. And if I was going to get ahead, I had to stop trying to be the smartest person in the room and had to start learning in earnest. The Bible said that pride goes before destruction, and for certain, my pride was now gone. You know what? Learning to be quiet and learn from those who do, and not just those with degrees, didn't just make me more successful in one area, but it made my entire life better as I took the time to apply it to different areas of my life. I took time to honestly evaluate my wrong thinking on money and to read books on solutions. We talked about that a little bit yesterday. I sought out mentors in business and traded free work for thousands of dollars of teaching and mentorship in business. I used my car as a classroom and the library as my free university, reading over 40 books a year as I drove around. I accepted that I will not be perfect the first time I try something, and making mistakes is how we learn. Therefore, this is really important. You got to listen to this, guys. I stopped fearing the things I got wrong and instead budgeted my money and my time, expecting things to cost more time and to cost more money, because education is never free. So with each of these baby steps, I learned a new way of doing things and thinking about things, and I've become a bit more humble, more mature, and more passionate about helping others. That is now one of my purposes. I would not have reached this current reality where I no longer have to work and can fully dedicate my time to evaluating rental properties to purchase, which is what I want to do. I do not have to work anymore because we don't need my pay. And with the HELOC replacing our mortgage, I was telling you yesterday how I changed those things over. If you have questions about it, in the description below, I have a link. We will be fully free of our home debt in a year or so. Like I said, I linked that video in the description yesterday, and I'm also grateful to Sam for what he taught me in the weekly classes that we go to, and then also Kate, who's my coach. I go into the classes about every week, every other week, and listen to one or the other of them. I would not have done any of this if I had not come to one major realization. If you get nothing else out of this video, here's the thing. I create my life. My choices and responses to circumstances in good and bad times had brought me to that moment in the food bank. And my decision in the food bank to become successful so that I could help other people, that became my why. So my decision to help other people is what has driven me to get to where I am now. So it was to help my kids, to help my husband, to help my family, yes. But I also, that day in that food bank, decided that, I remember saying it to myself, someday I will be something, of means. I will be a person of means again. And when I am going to make a difference in the way food banks minister to people. My channel has lots of free tools if you are trying to find ways to cut costs, start a business, or even help your kids out. Or get your kids to help you out too. But it starts with one major realization. If your life isn't what you want it to be, you are the only person in the world who can change it permanently. Other things, circumstances can make it better or worse for a season. A stimulus can make it fun or exciting. Another person can make it what, but you are the only person who can make your life change permanently. So for now, I want to leave you with one of the best tools I know of. It's a link to my favorite YouTube channel. And a link to the HELOC strategy I told you about yesterday and that I mentioned a minute ago. If you prefer, I also have a link to the calculator. Some people just like to play with the numbers and do things like that. But in my next video, I'm going to share with you the epiphany I had that blew my mind and totally changed my way of thinking. My finances, like my business, I call it like our life. We joke our life, our family is a business. We actually have a family monopoly board on the other side of this. Maybe sometime I'll show it to you. And I have like little goals, like, the different colored cards. I have them like the properties that you have on a monopoly board. So when I refer to my business, I mean my life, my family, my kids. And my business, my life skyrocketed. My relationships, including my marriage, improved. And I've never looked back. I'm going to show you how you can use this revelation to get similar results. I'm really excited about showing it to you. I'd like to hear some of your stories in the comments below and also your questions so I know what to address in the next video. Thank you so much. I will see you tomorrow. Bye.